Good morning from this freezing morning in London. And let's call it coincidences that in the last few days I haven't seen any trails left in the sky from the plane, and the temperature now dropped at the usual normal temperatures in January here in UK. This is another story, what I want to tell you today, and it ran the years 2005. That's a year before I left to go to Australia and start this beautiful journey, this roller coaster. It all started with the first of many incredible synchronicities, and in the form of this high school mate, Alessandro. I told the story already many times, but today is not about him. It's actually about the federal backpackers in Queensland, in Bundaberg, where magic happened and where I met someone very important. But let's go back a bit, back in time, before Australia, before Bundaberg. Just briefly, Alessandro is a high school mate. We are not friends. I mean, we know each other. We never met in town. I never met him in town, and but the universe decided that he has to play an important part in my life before leaving and moving to Australia. And that important part starts in the form of this random meeting in Madrid for New Year Eve, where celebrating the New Year, someone calls my name, shouting my name, and it was him, Alessandro. 1 year later, I'm heading to Amsterdam. I'm coming out from the train station, heading to the hostel, and walking on the street. I looking at the other side of the road. Here we are. Alessandro is there. He's there in Amsterdam for New Year as well. Now, like if it wasn't enough, a year later, I am about to go to Australia, but a few months before, I bumped on him in town after not seeing him for the entire year after Amsterdam. And he was looking for me. He was looking for me because look what, he was working in a farm in Australia, and the farmer turns out to be my father's cousin. So that's the reason why I decided at the time to go and work and live in Bundaberg in Queensland to renew my working holiday visa, and to meet this uncle that I never knew I had, and that was in Australia, and that apparently was extremely close to my father. And fun enough, it did really look strongly like my father. It was quite fascinating to discover it when I met him in the first time. But the memories I'm telling you about is about the hostel where I ended up stay, that gave me so much to think about it, so much, and made me realize at the time that how when you are given enough to people, and they can live their life without struggles, that economic struggles and societal struggle, that it's all there in purpose to keep you in a state of worry and fear constantly. So Bundaberg and the hostel where I stayed, the Federal Backpackers, show me that a life in harmony, it's possible. A life in harmony with different cultures, different backgrounds, it's possible. Now, how I ended up in the Federal Backpacker. So when I decided to go to meet my uncle and to go in Bundaberg to work in the farms, my uncle tells me that they lived in the middle of nowhere in Bundaberg. Bundaberg is a huge territory. It's 45,000 people, but the land is huge because it's a farming town, heavy, like a lot of farmers that owns big lands. So the territory, like, it's huge, and I mean, from where my uncle lived to the town center was like almost 1 hour driving. So that's how far it actually was from the town. So he knew someone that managed a hostel in town called Steven, and he basically get me to stay in this hostel. That one of the things of this hostel, probably the main things where actually made the most of the money, was to basically take backpackers to the farms and then pick them up in the afternoon to bring them back in the hostel. Considering that obviously being such a huge farming town, there was it had a lot of backpackers going there to work in the farms to renew their second working holiday visa. Obviously, you watch my stories, they know what I think about visas, passports, countries. Scam. They are all scam. But anyway, he gets me inside this hostel. Now this hostel obviously was full of young people working in the farm with only one thought in their heads. It was travel. So make some money and travel. Make some money, work, renew the visa, and then move on. The plan was to stay 3 months, get my papers, and then move on. That 3 months became 1 year. Wonderful 1 year working in the fields. An amazing experience, like amazing. Like wake up in the morning, going in to the fields, working with the nature, with what the nature gave us. It was re-energizing, it was deep, it was spiritual. The natural connection with our environment was wonderful. So, apart, to meet Kaori, that, as I always say, she was my guardian angel. She was my guide to the next step of my life. That obviously was all orchestrated for me meet her. But what was so interesting about living inside this hostel, as I said, because everyone did not have any pressure, didn't have to, prove anything. I didn't have to prove anything about work. I didn't have to prove anything about lifestyle. They didn't need to prove anything about societal status that are bullshit anyway. Everyone, all we did was go to work, working in the farms, packing fruit and veggies, go back in the hostel, meet in the garden, chit chat, talking, playing, drinking, or we would go for walks, for hikes, little trip, like little day trips in the neighboring towns. I mean, it was just wonderful. It was like people call it a simple life, but this is actually the natural way of life. Like that's how life is meant to be lived. Like you just connect, talk to people, spend time outdoor in the nature. Yes, occasionally, you have drinks and laugh, like silly things, but like natural thing, like the most natural way to live life. And everybody, yeah, okay, occasionally there would be the occasional dramas, but mainly, we were all enjoying life, happy. We were all literally in the now. We didn't have to prove that we were like CEO of this bullshit or CEO of that other bullshit. We were just literally being humans, sharing our human, personality, but without needed to prove anything. No one needed to prove to be better than another. Nobody needed to prove to be faster picking or faster piking. Everyone was just doing their things, enjoying the nature, and then just going back and meeting with other humans. You know, hundreds of young people sitting in the garden in groups, chatting, laughing, listening live music. Nobody cared. You were white, black, yellow, whatever. Nobody cared. You were Muslim, Buddhist, Christian. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody. There was not even like oh, what do you believe? Oh, what your fucking degrees? Oh, what is you? No, nobody gave a shit because there was just what it is, an illusion created by this insane society. All we wanted was just living in peace and harmony. You would meet someone and there was no even like, oh, where are you from? It's like, hey, what's your name? Michael. Hey, what's your name? Kaori. Hey, what's your name? Juan. Oh, hey, how are you? Oh, how was the day? That's it. It was like living in the now. Just being peace. It was amazing. It was amazing. That sense of community, that sense of, being connected, with our ego aside, because there was no pressure. I mean, the word, like, humans are not evil. They made us to believe that, because if you make someone believe to be a bad person, then you can tell that person that needs someone to look after him, to make sure that doesn't let the evilness go wide. So if you make people believe that they are naturally bad, you can, so you have a reason to tell them that they need to be controlled, they need the rules. And the same people that tell you that you are bad are the same people that tells you that you need to be supervised, to be controlled, and that you need the rules so that you can behave. In Federal Backpacker, everyone could literally be themselves. And when you're let to be them yourself, with enough to live, you actually show your true colors. And the true colors of humans, it's goodness, it's kindness, it's sharing, is a genuine desire to connect with other human and to spend time outside in the nature. That's the real nature of a human being. So Federal Backpackers show me all of this. Obviously at the time I wasn't conscious, like I was just naturally living a wonderful time. But then later on, when I started to be more, I would say, conscious about what was going on in the society that I'm living, I started to understand and realize about, I would say, probably all the lies, and now even more, that was told to me since ever. And obviously that gave me some insights to realize, and that's the real nature of people. The real nature of people is one where you want just a big community, and you just want to be in peace. So it was great. It was wonderful, and one of the most important life experiences I have had, and all happened inside this basically run down wooden hostel. I mean, the stories I could tell there are infinite, but the mice, the opossums, the wooden floor that at any time could basically break, and you would just fall down in the ground floor. The evening spent singing, or like the days where, like, I don't know, I remember one night I was sleeping, and then someone screamed, and I woke up, and we all ran toward the room of those girls screaming, and turns out that those girls woke up in the middle of the night with mice running around the bed and them. Now, obviously, you live in a farming town, you live in a hostel, basically, that it's all wooden, and already you have mice. Plus, if you leave food on the floor constantly in everyday dirt, mess, but especially you leave food everywhere in the room, you're literally inviting those mice, to a party. So it was surreal. It was literally surreal. But again, nobody cared where we lived. I mean, that hostel was just a place, for us to rest, to sleep, and to engage with other people. There was no need to being in a villa. There was no need to show that I owns my one bedroom house or my bedroom flat in London. Nobody gave a shit because everybody was only aware about the most important thing, having a roof over the head. That's all what house and accommodation is about. All the rest, it's bullshit that is created in purpose for us so that we can, have one more things to worry about, oh yeah, no, oh, I live in a shared house. Oh my God, but you're like so, why you should by now you should live in your house. Bullshit. Oh, my house is very old. Oh, I need like a new, better house. This is all bullshit they made us to believe. All we need is a roof over the head and four walls to be protected by the wind and the rain. That's what it is about. And living in the feather backpackers, that's what all was about. Nobody gave a shit about the occasional mouse running around or the occasional opossum jumping inside the kitchen to try to stealing food. I would say it was, part of the nature, part of the living in the nature was part of it, and and it was fine. It was very accepted, we got cats at some point to keep the mice away. That's it. No poison, nothing. Just in the most natural way. Nobody care about, oh, my room is too small, I need a bigger room. No. All we care was, I have a roof, the rain doesn't get inside, and I have a bed to sleep. Fuck it, end of the story. So the Federal Backpackers was all of this, and it was a memorable experience. Now, there is no one that haven't been there that doesn't hold amazing memory. I mean, okay. I'm sure there's gonna be someone that hated that experience. Okay, we're all different. But majority of people that had the opportunity to live in this hostel and experience that, not the hostel is not the hostel that was, were making the experience unique. The hostel was just a background, it was just a stage. It could have been anything else, but it's just like a place that where happened to be. But anyone that been there and that experienced life in that way, cannot forget it. Cannot forget that it was an amazing experience, and you could see it when suddenly one day a few years ago, the hostel, the Federal Backpackers, was destroyed by a fire. As like suddenly the hostel is gone. I mean, if you will see the comments, because someone created, I think, a Facebook group, something, like the people leaving comments, writing about that wonderful experience, talking about the memories they had. It was crazy. Like people that share the articles about the fire, if you see the comments, oh, I lived there, I miss the fire, oh, it was wonderful, oh, I met this person, I met that person. Why all this melancholy? Because for a short time we had the opportunity to live life in the most natural way. We were lucky to experience sharing, laughs, crying, connected to each other. So the feather bed Pegasus is gone, and it's fine. It's part of life, right? We were gonna be gone one day, sooner or later. And feather Pegasus being gone, destroyed by a fire. It's part of the natural way of life. So there is another thing I want to say before I wrap it up. It's time then, I still have some time before going to work. Again, that fabulous word of synchronicities. I think it was 1 year later. I was still in Australia, and I was in Perth, Victoria, and someone shared with me a video. So there was an Australian singer that made a beautiful song that I will share in my post, my blog post. And this beautiful song basically, I think I can't remember the name. I think its name is I'm Sorry. And basically the video was all those people. It was like all random people in Australia holding a sign saying I'm sorry. And the person that shared it with me told me, look, Alex, see if you can recognize someone in the video. And looking at the video carefully, I recognized Steven, that was at the time the manager of the hostel. So again, that connection, that connection that unite all of us, from this invisible thread. So I was lucky, or it was meant to be, for sure. And I'm glad that I had the opportunity to experience that. And now I'm actually living the opposite, living inside a concrete jungle that is London, where everyone is brought to the limit, where the system have been created so that everybody will struggle, where they can make enough, but barely enough, and where everybody's running like rats, like hamster, toward nowhere. Everybody with this dream of career and money, and it's sad because nothing of this it's real. So for me, seeing the difference, it's so strong. And obviously, this is one of the reasons why I'm here, to seeing the difference between the natural way of living life and the most unnatural way to live life, that is in a big city, in a concrete jungle, where the so-called nature are trees in a fake park, and where everyone it's running toward a goal made up for them by a mad society run by psychopathic, and where everyone is running only to realize that they're now too old and sick, and that all the memories they have is about wake up, get the tube, go to work, stress, get back to the tube, stress, go back home, stress, getting drunk so to not thinking about the stress, and sleeping, and then repeat. And then they're too old. And all they remember about life is that drinking nights, they gave them like a few hours free from worries. I want to go back to that life, and eventually I will. A real life before I'm gone as well, like the federal backpacker.